the net we thrive, where the laughter flows and we feel alive. No tears, no shouts, no bitter storm, just Adam's arms keeping us warm. Come together, feel the groove so wide, sharing vibes in our tribal stride. Football flows, but it's more than plays. Adam's arms lighting up our days. We talk the game, but we keep it cool. No need to rage, no room for a fool. Joy in the banter, joy in the chat. A vibe so mellow, you can't top that. Come together, feel the groove so wide, sharing vibes in our tribal stride. Football flows, but it's more than plays. Adam's arms lighting up our days. Kick it back low, let the dub line roll. Sharing stories, yeah, it feeds our soul. Here we gather, no need to hide. Just love and laughter pouring like tides. Adam's arms, our little reggae home. With the bass so heavy and the dubstone tone. We gather and vibe with smiles so true. A place so rare where we all renew.
Ha! Welcome. Thank you for being here. I have a feeling that with the kind of somberness that we are all experiencing as Arsenal fans, we are due another Club Tropic Arsenal. I definitely am due another Club Tropic Arsenal. So let's see if we can book that in for next Tuesday or Thursday. Barcelona tonight. Almost won La Liga last night. Real Madrid coming from behind in spectacular fashion. What is it about these monster clubs? I'm talking about Real Madrid here. There could have been a VAR check on the goal last night. There wasn't. It stood. Took it to tonight at least. But Barcelona got the job done. It wasn't a spectacular game. Wasn't fully exciting. Doesn't have to be. They are champions of La Liga. Hansi Flick's first season. Not bad, is it? Vincent Kompany wins in Germany. Arne Slot wins the Premier League. Hansi Flick wins La Liga. We still don't know who's going to win. Who do you fancy in Serie A between Inter and Napoli? I have decided, for some reason, I was always a Juventus fan. But that was a terrible mistake. So I'm not that anymore. Going to be taking you through tonight, going to be taking you through some of the transfer news, views, all the transfer news and views you can use. I do just want to say a massive thank you to, first of all, we've got Durham Leopards in. Lovely to see you. And Miss Blina, hello, good evening and welcome. I also just want to say really quickly, you guys make this show what it is, and I'm so grateful to you for that. This provided... our new backdrop provided by Geeks of Muckleby. Absolutely thrilled with it. Thank you so much. I believe he hand drew that. It's AI. It is. He went to the trouble of telling me. I would have guessed, but I am absolutely thrilled with it. And that will be making a regular appearance on here. Just like the rest of the regulars. News-wise, look, everything at the moment is about transfers. And I must say, it takes me back to the transfer seasons of yore, years gone by, where transfers were all about, well, same player, Benzema. Benzema's coming. Benzema will bring with him. Didn't happen. And, I also remember probably my fondest memory of transfers was the Kylian Mbappe. under Arsene Wenger when he so nearly decided to come to us from Monaco instead of Paris Saint-Germain. And he didn't, and we didn't win the big silverware. But is there a player coming? Certainly since Andrea Berta was announced, and before, about a month before, when we all knew that Andrea Berta was coming, he came in with one target, one serious target in mind, and that target was the Swedish international, Viktor Gyökeres, currently plying his trade at Sporting, currently scoring a goal every 70 minutes, outstanding, arguably one of Europe's best strikers. Miss Melina, hey. Look at this. Gary's here. DWT, don't waste the trip. Never waste the trip. Bloody good to see you. And Jose, superstar. Great to see you too. So it looks like, I think, at this point in time, the weird transfer market, the summer transfer window doesn't actually open until January, right? What am I talking about? I do that every single time. It doesn't open until June the 1st, but there's nothing else to talk about. We could get embroiled in a conversation about whether or not Arsenal are going to be second. Let me know in the comments if you really care. If you really care. I think at this point, we need 1 point to maintain our position in the top 5. 1 point will do it. We've got Southampton away. Surely, if we need to get a point out of Southampton away, we'll do it. You'd hope we'd be able to get a point out of Newcastle and make that trip away to Southampton a dead rubber. But does it bother you if Arsenal finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th? I'm not sure. Great question. I wanted to get onto this. Thanks, Jose. Are Arsenal preparing for Saliba's exit? I think the contrary. I think the fact that Real Madrid have now Houston, who I think is a great player, great season at Bournemouth, lured by the Los Blancos, is going to Real Madrid. He's in. His representatives are in there. It looks like a done deal. I don't think they'd have spent the 50 million on him if they thought they had a realistic chance of signing Saliba. The talk is that William Saliba, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel Magalhaes are on the verge of signing new contracts. This is something that Andrea Berta is working very strenuously on. Look, don't get me wrong. What I don't think is true. I don't think there's any fans of Arsenal who would be satisfied with a transfer window where they just renew those contracts. We know we've got a good squad. We know we've got a good spine of a team. We just don't have a good squad yet. Thomas Partey might well be staying. We'll get through all these. But the big one for me is I'm prepared to do a Roman, a Fabrizio Romano, here we go. We need an Adam's Arms version of here we go. That's what we need. Because when I'm putting my neck on the line and I'm saying, I'm not an in the know. I'm a no now, right? But Gyökeres is coming. Reports from Portugal have stated that he has decided his heart is now set on Arsenal. Viktor Gyökeres is coming to Arsenal. I think that's a given. Whether or not he is the only striker coming to Arsenal, and I really hope he's not. I really hope he's not, because honestly, if we do get one striker, is that enough? Do you think that's enough? I know Gabriel Jesus eventually is going to be fit. Eventually, being January, I think. So we have got Kai Havertz. I think Trossard has been made an offer as well. So, but the big news, surely, Viktor Gyökeres increasingly looks like he's going to be announced quickly. Zubimendi is all but done. Should be the first transfer announced. But if they announce Zubimendi and Viktor Gyökeres together, that, by the way, is not the only one that looks done and dusted, depending on how seriously you take these rumours. I've been looking at it. The one, if we get Moss in, I think you'll be really happy with the story that I'm going to go through as well. Because, well, we are linked with more than just Viktor Gyökeres. There is strong interest in Benjamin Šeško. I'm not actually sure, to be honest with you, but Šeško anyway. And I really like him, having seen him a lot. I haven't seen as much as Viktor Gyökeres, but something that's really turned me on to the fact that he's probably right for us is when you looked at his comparative stats for Sweden compared to Alexander Isak. So the way this is being reported by everybody and his dog is that Mikel Arteta has a wish list. That wish list has been drawn up and is being acted on. We apparently have given up hope on Alexander Isak because he would be 120 million. And is any player worth such a large chunk of change? And that's if you can convince him to leave Newcastle. So we've given up on him. Victor Gyökeres could be done for 60 million euros, which I think when you think that Rasmus Højlund cost Man United 72 million pounds, about 80 million euros, when you think of what they've been spending on strikers, and then of course Joshua Zirkzee there, that neither of whom have worked out. Not that I don't think they will work out. I think that there's a lot of pressure at Man United to be good straight away. They've chucked Chido Obi Martin in. I think they're trying everything. It does. We do have to hope, by the way, that Man United have a fantastic Europa Cup final. It'd be weird cheering for Man United. Although, as we discussed in the live stream, I'm not actually that opposed to them. I know it's probably something wrong with me, and apologies for that. But Arsenal look like signing Victor Gyökeres. Is that enough? I want to hear from you. Is one striker enough? Or would you like to see us do a bit of canny business? Because the story that I was alluding to just moments ago is one that's been broken by a few, that there is strong interest in Jonathan David all throughout Italy. But he has now officially, we've known this for a while, his free transfer up. There was talk about probably offering £20 million for him in the January transfer window. But one of the stumbling blocks to that were his salary demands. Now, Napoli are ready to offer 3.4 million in wages, but he's after quite a bit more. Now, his entire package, according to Sasha Taglieri, is he wants a gross salary of 9 million euros. So that probably works out as about 4.5 in net. A signing on fee of 15 million euros. Which you can say is fair enough if you're not costing anyone a transfer fee. That's not necessarily a lot. But then there's also 10 million in commission. I'd love to be on that kind of commission. I've never been. Of course, I've never. What a stupid thing to say. Duh. But yeah. So the total package for Jonathan David, who I think is an outstanding player. I know that if Moss were here, Sasky would be saying exactly the same thing. He was saying that the other day, and I made the point, it just doesn't seem like there's any interest in him, and I don't know why he's not being speculated about. And then today, news is breaking that we have asked, we have spoken to his representation. So look at this. Jordan's here. Lovely to see you. Jose is exactly right, isn't it? I mean, 35 million doesn't seem so free, but relatively speaking, I mean, that does include his wages. It only includes 1 year's wages, but it does include his wages. And I think he's a proven goal scorer. He will get us goals. And I think if you went into the market and you said up here as well, we need 2 strikers at least, and I agree with you. Whether or not we're going to do it, though, let me know if you think we're actually going to do it, because I have a horrible feeling that we're going to get to more of the transfer news, some of which I find really frustrating, a lot of which is just nonsense anyway. But the Jonathan David story is starting to pop up, and I can't see a good reason why we wouldn't go after a player like that. He's a perfect age. He's a different type of forward to. If we are getting Gyökeres, and I really think, like, I need a Fabrizio Romano, a Gooner Dan version of here we go. No, that I can't be too much of a rip-off. He's probably got copyright, but you know what I mean. Stick something in the comments. Let me find out what's my catchphrase going to be. Geeks of Muckleby. I hope you didn't miss it. I did actually. I don't know if you guys can still hear me when I do that. But there it is. Geeks of Muckleby, thank you so much. One loves it. I don't know how to. It does sort of cover me up a little bit, which I know. I will have to make that the background somehow. Technical things are not my forte. But bloody good evening. And if you're interested in coming on, I will repost the link for those of you. I know some of you are powdering your noses, doing your makeup, ready to come on. But lovely to see you. Welcome on board if you want to come on. We are talking about transfers tonight. And I am looking for a catchphrase because I'm convinced it's happening. There is no gazumping it. Victor Gyökeres has decided. But we have also apparently reached a verbal agreement. I'm sick of these verbal agreements, by the way, because I was always taught when getting someone to sign a contract, a verbal agreement isn't worth the paper it's written on. And I've been in that situation where someone's backed out of a contract after giving me my word is my bond speech. So I know there's many a slip twixt cup and lip. We could still be gazumped, but I think Victor Gyökeres is on his way. I think it will be announced really soon. He's told people in Portugal that he's leaving. There is a lot of movement around. But there are a lot of clubs looking for big players. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the transfer news around Manchester City, but it is rather depressing. It looks like they're going to have a blockbuster summer window. They, of course, are going off to the World Club Cup. And please, would you join me? Please be upstanding, rattle your jewellery, and it's the one, the only, the inimitable Geeks of Muckleby.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Yeah.
Help me out. Thank you so much for the backdrop. I
that's
need
all
a
good.
catchphrase.
That's all good.
I need a catchphrase. How are you with catchphrases? We've got to have an Adam's Arms.
Ringing off the bell sort of thing, hasn't it?
It's like, he's only bloody called and signed the bloody thing.
Yeah.
How are you? How have you been?
Oh, I'm dead today. I've been on a run stroke out in the hills, 7K, and I feel like death. You know, it was just like boiling hot, everything.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh. So,
today's a rest day for me. I'm out running again tomorrow.
Oh,
not 7K though. I'm not up there yet, but
well, whereabouts are you in your running journey?
My journey is I've got to do a 10K in July.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what time I do it in, but right. I want to do it as close to an hour as possible. And,
master the 5K first. If you can master your 5K time.
Yeah, the thing is, my 5K time was always around 27 minutes. So
that's decent.
Yeah, now it's not.
Okay.
That was 3 stone ago.
Right. Yeah,
so yeah, but it's I do love it. I've gone back into it 4 times a week. I'm out there. I do love it, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. But today, I was really glad it was a rest day. We've got some people joining us. Saski's here. Moss, I was talking, I hope you didn't miss it, about Jonathan David. Apparently, he wants a gross salary of 9 million euros, signing on for 15 million euros and a 10 million commission to his friends, chums, and agents. This comes to a 35 million. It's not a free transfer, but it's got to be good value. And my goodness, good evening. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Chalkers. I think our most regular, longest standing regular, certainly great to see you, Chalkers, and the moderatrix herself, Rosie, Fan Dabby Rosie. Evening, Horbag. And she's saying hi to everyone. Brilliant to see you guys. Sorry I was a bit late starting tonight. No excuse, just watching football. Barcelona. Don't mind him. He's from Barcelona. Handsy flick. What stage of the process is he at?
Wow. I mean, fair play to them. After how dominant Madrid were last year, bit of a quick turnaround that was.
See, they signed the striker they badly needed, and it all went tits up.
Yes, what for Madrid?
Yeah,
I think it's because a little bit like United a few years ago, when they had a choice out of either signing Ozil or Sanchez, and they went for Sanchez. They should have signed Ozil because at that time they had a young Rashford, a young Martial, a young Lukaku, knocking the goals in. They had Mata in midfield, who was decent, and I think Ozil in that team would have been stunning. And then they upset the apple cart with Sanchez, and I think that's the same with Mbappe. PSG got better.
But the thing is, Nick, everyone called it. Everybody said Vinicius Jr. is going to get the piss if you sign Mbappe.
Well, where's he going to play?
Yeah, and so they've kind of gone, all right, Mbappe, you play in the middle. And Mbappe's done well. He scored goals, but those goals haven't ultimately meant anything. It's all for nothing.
No, but I mean, he has scored goals, but everybody else's return has diminished.
And then you've got other problems. You've got, I mean, there is a serious... I tend to wait. There's certain publications I don't really respect. Fichajes, Calcio Mercato. Any publication which is basically called Transfer Market, you realise, if you and I worked for a magazine called Transfer Market, we come in today to go, any news? And you go, no, we'll make something up. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what they do. I mean, that's what they do. It's clickbait, and they know you attach Arsenal to the rumor, and that will drive a certain amount of traffic. And it's all about traffic and adverts and this, that, and the other. So, though, what you were saying at the beginning, with all your bits of news, Saliba, Gabriel, Saka, all good, positive.
Yeah, all looking really positive there. There's others in there as well. Obviously, Partey, Trossard. There are people being offered extensions. I think, listen...
Don't get Trossard.
No, I tell you what, the thing is, I'm not loving him at the moment, but then I'm always ready to eat my words. And
100%.
like I thought Thomas Partey was a done deal for me, get him out of the club.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant this season. So it can happen, right?
Yeah.
Equally, not many people were saying we need to get rid of Odegaard last season. There were some. But this season, I think there's more people. We'll have to see how strong he comes back. I thought it was really encouraging he took the shot he did against Liverpool.
Right. See it twice he took the ball on, and that's what I've been asking from him. That's what I want to see.
And it felt like it felt like a response to some of the criticism. Jose's asking here, why was Ethan given the 22? I don't know. Listen, I can't.
Did he choose it?
My understanding is that's the number he wanted from the numbers available. Obviously, he might have wanted 10, but
because Jude Bellingham play in the 22?
I don't know. I could probably find out, but do you think it's something to do? Listen, all the numbers aren't available. The other number that's changed is we have a new number 1.
Yes,
the number 1 shirt. Yeah, it's Perry Groves. And number 1 is Perry Groves. Perry Groves is number 1. No, David Raya. This is going to do my head in, by the way. I'm just going to rattle through some of these, but let's put this out there. The other big transfer story that's done and dusted apparently is Juan Garcia. We've got a keeper. We've got a keeper. We need a striker. We've got a keeper. So let's quickly rattle through some of these because I know. So Moss said he missed it. And Jonathan David deserves even more. Heard besides Napoli, a Premier League club put in an offer for Iceman too. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, he is going to do well wherever he goes. I think he's a great finisher. Good movement, great finisher, great. I mean, I'd love to see him at Arsenal. I think what Jose was saying earlier, you signed 2 strikers right now. Jonathan David would choose Arsenal or Barca, though. I mean, Barca have still got money problems, so I don't know if it's them. Oi, Razor, what bloody time do you call this? This is the lock-in, mate. It's the Thursday's the late-night lock-in, so we can open a bit later. I've still got to work early, but whatever. Glad to see someone gave you your sleeves back, Dan. I get so many... I wore a sleeveless top, right? That's what happened on Tuesday. For those of you who weren't here, Dan wore a sleeveless top. It is a bit like, Vogue, isn't it? Heading home, hockey tonight, and Canadian baller SGA can maybe knock out Kroenke's Denver Nuggets. I am ashamed to say I don't know what any of that means, but it all sounds so exciting. Weird.
Denver Nuggets, isn't that the?
I know roughly what it is. They do the old chucky ball, don't they? The old bounce chucky ball.
The netball glorified.
Yeah, netball with a bit of moving. With a bit of jumping, with a bit of flying through the air. What's that? A protein shake? What are you on there? What's that?
That's water.
Water?
That is just
the staff of life.
The massive cup of water. Because
I believe you.
like a racehorse.
Agree about Party. I think we keep him. We keep him, Zubimendi, Marino, and
I
Rice.
think Partey, the season he's had, the most disappointing thing about Partey, we all know what that is, and how that's kind of impacted Arsenal in the last couple of years in availability. The thing is, when he's been around it, like this season's probably been his best season in an Arsenal shirt, I would say, in availability and performance. And so the amount that I think we've got to do this year, if they don't have to replace him, why replace him? Save that money, move that to another window and concentrate on everything else.
At 31, I don't think he's going to get as much money as he's on, so it's still less money. No, I totally agree. I'd love to know from anyone who doesn't actually agree. That I'm surprised. Yeah, I think you have to. John Maynard Keynes, one of my favourite economists. I don't agree with all of his principles, but one of my favourites. He always said, "I change my opinion when the facts change. What do you do, sir?" And I think, like with Thomas Partey, he's a versatile player. He could play right back.
Oh. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I mentioned that. Obviously, I don't ever want to see him play right back again, and that's not a slight on him at all. I think what's really interesting is the games that he played right back, we just didn't play well. We missed him in the middle. The game where he wasn't in the middle for Paris Saint-Germain, and we saw.
That's why I was annoyed with that booking, because I think first leg, if he was there, there's always that what if, isn't there? I don't think we lose the game.
It's harsh, but I agree. And that's the thing, isn't it? He's never there when you bloody need him. But one more, he's definitely, we're losing Jorginho. We're keeping, I'd love to keep Thomas Partey. This is going to be one of those transfer windows. Dan, you should do sell and keep stream. I'm doing a video. But what I'll do is I'll do the video and then after we'll do a Q&A. I think it's something that I kind of waiting to the end of the season to do. Although, truthfully, this is the end of the season. And
where do you see Miles next year?
In midfield. I do see him in midfield. They've talked about it. I like Ben White too much to leave him out. I can't see Ben White playing at left back, although it could happen. So I think we are going to see Timber go back to the left. He's been better on the right, but I think Timber, just before we played Man City in that what turned out to be an epic and tempestuous 10-man torture, I really thought we had a red wall. I thought if you've got Ben White, Yuri Timber, Gabriel and Saliba with David Raya behind them, no one gets past that.
Yeah.
We have had to chop and change that, notably in the quarterfinals and semi-finals of the Champions League. We've had Jakob Kivior, who's come in.
Done well.
But honestly, I think he's probably agitating for a move more than we're looking to sell him.
I think he wants permanent minutes. And you can understand that because, he stepped into the semi-final and he gave a good account of himself against a difficult forward line. I think he's definitely better than a bench. It's like with Ben White. If we did bring in a left back to start for next season, and Timber is the starting right back, I do not begrudge Ben White wanting to move on and ensure first team football because he's brilliant.
I just think he's too much. He's too important to the club. I think he's too important to the team. I think he will get minutes. I think he is a really strong player. And I think either as a replacement centre back, we should be rotating anyway. So to have him as a player who's really competent, and I know we don't need one, and we look like we're going to be well stocked with Zubimendi arriving, but I think he'll be repurposed. I think of Ben White as our Kimmich. I see him as a sort of player who could eventually go into the midfield. Because
I think he's got that ability, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I'd be interested to see what. I definitely don't want to lose him though. I'm going to go through some more comments to stay up. We've got high celery. That's an in-joke. Arsenal will be wearing long sleeve kits on the pitch for the first time since 2017. Woo! I want to come back to this. Have you seen the new kit?
Yeah, I love it. Because it's got the Arsenal A going through it, and that's the Arsenal from the night kits that I first was getting when I was a kid with my own money. So it takes me back. I'm quite sold on it. I can imagine it splits opinion, But for me, no, it works.
I haven't seen any negative opinion. Someone let me know in the comments if you don't like it. It looks all right to me.
Yeah, I like
to
it.
me, I think I'm not superstitious, but I don't give a shit about a kit till we win something in it.
That's the thing I keep saying to my son. Ollie's like, "Oh, Dad, got to get that one," and I'm like, he said, "I might get it in the long sleeves and the sleeve because he's like 18 doing his A levels. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to get them both." And I looked at him, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, to live at home and have no bills, and so he can't decide between the long sleeves or the short sleeves. But
I'd go long sleeves, definitely. I love a long sleeve.
I do as well. It's different.
It is different. I'm going to rattle through these. Bellingham was number 22 for Birmingham. Borussia Dortmund. They retired it at Birmingham, didn't they? They retired his number.
Something like that.
They did. They retired. I love Birmingham. I do. I have, because I had so many clients up in Birmingham that I just absolutely loved. And a couple of them, I know they've had a tough time lately, but they're back. They're coming back. I love the Blues. Come on. Long sleeve kits all day. Perhaps that could be my catchphrase for when someone signs. He's coming to Arsenal all now. Oh, I hate coming up with catchphrases. Everyone got a Stanley Cup. Don't leave home without it. Don't know what Stanley Cup. Is that the hockey one, isn't it?
That's the hockey one, isn't it?
Yeah. Rosie, I told you Dan blue top he had on. He went to the Blue Oyster Bar before he went live. I forgot to read that.
Police Academy, that is, isn't it?
Anthony, I bought you a drink. Where were you, darling? The Blue Oyster. Can we get another from party like this one? Don't think so. Oh, I
don't know.
But look, no.
Why not?
So fair enough.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question, Shaw, because I do think that it's a lower risk strategy to keep him on, given that it's not going to cost much, than it is to replace him. I don't want to see Zubimendi and Partey out, because if Zubimendi doesn't work out, then you really are starting to struggle a little bit. So yeah, I think Zubimendi will be good, but give him a year.
I think we're going to convert to a 4-2. I've said it before: 4-2-3-1, 4-2-1-3, depending on the play. And I think we're going to be using predominantly Zubimendi and Rice. But if you think about rotation, that sort of thing, and you're going to be bringing in Miles and Partey from the 70th minute or for starting certain games.
Hang on a minute. Are you suggesting that Mikel Arteta is going to make substitutions in the 70th minute? Let me double check that.
I haven't been drinking. It's only water, I promise.
Oh, you think that Arteta will, like Andrea Berta, will come down pitch side and put a gun to his head and say, "Get." Do
you know why I think it might happen?
Because Arteta's been drinking.
No. Because I think he needs a trophy next year, so he's going to take all 4 competitions seriously.
I get what you're saying, but I think we did take all 4 competitions seriously this time. I think he put out a strong team against Newcastle. We got to the semi-finals. Man United was one of those performances that we have a half dozen of these performances a season where the players, I'm sure he doesn't tell them, look, just go out there, take it easy. It's only Man United in the FA Cup. I just think we looked knackered against them.
But that's when rotation will help you.
Yeah, and you are singing to the choir, sir. I would be rotating players. I played Championship Manager. I know what I'm doing. You know, when they get to 75% health, you've got to get them off.
You've got to get them out there and switch them to
otherwise, they're starting the next game at 89%, and these are margins. It's a game of small margins. So, yeah. Rosie said, I thought Dan was taking part in a Wham tribute act just because I wore a sleeveless. Do you know what I mean? It is like this lot. Watch Police Academy, Rosie. Yeah, do not get the Blue Oyster reference. It's a bar where gentlemen meet gentlemen for more than discourse. Lord Stanley Cup, hardest trophy to win, and no, it's not. The World Cup's hardest trophy to win. Don't be silly. North Americans do take their sports a bit seriously, don't they?
I mean, the fact that they call everything world, no,
that's not fair.
World Series in baseball.
No, that's not fair. It's not called the World Series. It's the World's Series. It was named that after the World's newspaper. So it's got nothing to do with them thinking everyone plays it. Although it's popular in Japan. Big in Japan.
Very popular in Japan.
Told everyone, Timber. Should I do this? If you're going to write in capitals, I'm going to shout. Told everyone, Timber would be better than White. So many laughed at me. Who laughing now? Could change to back 3. I don't want a back 3. But yeah, no, listen, Timber would be better than White. I don't think he necessarily is, actually. I think they're about level. For me.
Do you know what? Can you name me games where I struggle to think of games where White was bad?
No, I can't think of any game. I think yeah. Well, this season he's had a couple because he hasn't really been fully fit.
I mean, going back through.
Oh, mate, I'm a massive Ben White for me. And we'll talk about this.
I feel like we get more out of Ben White going forward.
Yeah, I think he has been involved in more goal contributions. Although, listen, I'm not talking anything.
I'm talking out my arse here. I could be completely wrong.
No, I think you're right, but again, I'm not. We are like.
I just felt like that Odegaard White Saka triangle.
Yeah, well, that was hugely prolific for us, and it's been less so. But then this season, Odegaard's been out of form. Ben White's not been around, and Saka's been missing for a large part of it. So you haven't seen
Odegaard was injured as well. Don't forget.
So what we're saying is that last season we over relied on the right hand side, and this season
everyone was going to balance the left, and it didn't happen.
And everyone in that right-sided triangle that you've just mentioned has been injured for a considerable amount of time this season. So it's Ben White midfield, not. I think he's being repurposed as a midfielder. Timber could, but not Benny. No, I think Timber's less likely to make the midfield. It's an improvement. A new red kit, good. Arsenal are playing in their new kit against Newcastle this weekend. Are they?
Yep, they've been doing it the last few seasons, haven't they? To promote, it's already on sale.
Oh, fair enough. If it all goes towards signing players, fair enough. Kit, small tweaks each year for 75 Notar. I'm with you, Chalkers. I don't buy them. So, but I like what I did. I just anything.
75 quid. Where are you getting it from? The player replica one is 120 odd quid.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Why are people buying the player replica one? What is the hope there? That you're running your 7K, but I don't know if that means you're getting on.
You go faster, don't you? Because you're streamlined.
I don't. I'm getting a couple of them. I do love. I love the idea of collecting them, but I don't think I would buy the player replica one. That's just too much. I mean, if you're a serious collector, it's a better thing to collect than what some people do collect, don't they? If you're buying a kit from the Arsenal site, let me know if I get a discount with Red membership. Not much better than nothing. Yeah, cool. 10%. Wouldn't wear long sleeves too easy. Not in Canada, not in Saskatchewan, not minus 40 degrees. Quite a long sleeve. Yeah, big blouse. Thank you, Mel. And thank you, Fan Dabby Rosie. Shout out to Celery. 56 this year, not a chance. You don't look a day over 60, mate. Hi, lads. With 60 plus games a year, the days of first 11 is gone. As all squad are rarely fit. Add to that being able to use 5 subs. You nearly need 2 players for each position to go deep now. You do. I love this comment. Thank you, Galvo. That's the point, isn't it?
I am where that's exactly where my head is at.
It is where my head is at. And I would have a lot more time for Mikel Arteta's whinging about too many games and not enough if he played, because he waits until someone's injured and then he brings in Jakub Kiwior. Kiwior's getting not. Zinchenko gets no minutes. Kieran Tierney gets no minutes. Both of whom look like they're off now.
Doesn't get any minutes. Yeah, when
Nwaneri is a weird one. Nwaneri, and also maybe a bit later on when we've got less to talk about. But I am getting really sick of the anti-Miles Lewis-Skelly agenda. I find it really, really upsetting. They criticised him for not clapping at the Guard of Honour. Bear in mind, Bernardo Silva.
Who did?
Sky. Quite a few people on Sky News did. Lots of people said that he deliberately didn't clap. And then I've got footage of him clapping, and you go, "What happened to journalism?" Might as well have just said he punched.
Come off it. Journalism disappeared, 15, 16, maybe even 20 years ago.
I'll give credit though, because the football terrorist Terry Hughes, I really like. I like
Terry.
Not just because I think he might be. He's always, I think, in an effort to be magnanimous and stay as impartial as possible, he does tend to choose sides with Arsenal fans. That said, I think anyone who says that Miles Lewis-Skelly's got an attitude problem because of the way he celebrated his goal,
I love that.
He gets crap. He scored on his debut for England. He's a breakthrough player. He's got a great attitude, but the implication is that,
What's a year?
Oh, mate, yeah.
Cracking. If you think he's made his England debut, scored, he has played PSG 3 times without being embarrassed or exposed. He's played City twice without being embarrassed or exposed. He's played in the North London derby to great aplomb. He's handled City. I mean, name me 4 bigger teams right now for Madrid, PSG, City, and Tottenham in terms of intensity and all of that for us. He's handled it all, home and away.
Mate, I've been a fan of his ever since this channel started. I've been shouting him out.
You just listen to him talk and the way that he is. I
love
think
him.
he's great.
I love him, and this is what upsets me
I don't
about
want to do it, but potential future captain.
Yeah,
and the way that his mentality 100%. Is
100%. That's what he is. He is a future captain. I mean, I absolutely love his personality, and I love him. I just think he's brilliant. And like I'm saying that, obviously I'm hugely biased. I can't see why people have a problem with his attitude.
I think there is a tendency, you know, some of people's biggest fear is that we land that trophy because we stop being the banter club. We stop being the one where they can focus all of their vitriol.
They're going to do it anyway.
And I think he's become a lightning rod for the Arsenal criticism.
It feels more than that, because I saw this with Raheem Sterling as well. I'm not going to go into this, but I just feel like Phil Foden doesn't get this. You know,
if you're going down those lines, 100%. He's a young black player playing for Arsenal. Let's say it for how it is.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why he comes in for it. I'm going to cut. If you want me to be honest, I'll be honest.
That's how it feels. I hate it. I don't like discussing it, and I think,
look how they were with Rashford over all of those years, and all the rest of it.
Rashford is a man. Look, I don't rate him as a footballer, although I've been wrong about lots of things.
As a man, when he's doing all of that stuff that he doesn't have to do.
Yeah,
you talk about role models and all the rest of it.
Yeah, he's out there.
The press has reported stories on how a black player or a white player. It's evident. Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that, you know, that he was getting racist abuse. So personally, I think abuse is abuse. I think that you should ignore it all. We all get it. Anyone, even me, tiny little profile that I have on YouTube, I get shit. You know you're going to get it when you put your chin out to get it, right?
Of course.
And I'm sure he's a strong enough character that it rolls off his back, but it shouldn't happen. That's a separate issue, right? Like all of the abuse that players like Saka and Rashford and all those get, that's subject to the colour of their skin, is disgraceful, should never happen. We can all agree on that. But for me, more insidious is the way that players are represented totally differently.
Right.
Miles Lewis-Skelly is presented as some sort of loutish, arrogant, and in fact, the opposite is true. He is and the stories that come out, like some of the stories are just so poorly reported. It's infuriating. So
I think maybe as a club we can do more with our PR department and all of that sort of stuff.
I'd shut our PR department down. Do you know what? If it was me, I know it's all about money and making money and selling shirts and our global fan base. We're the 9th largest team in the world for global fan base, and I'm really pleased about that. But I think sometimes shut up. I think it's the best to let you just touched on it there. We're the banter club. There is a rule in marketing, which is first they laugh at you, then they hate you, then they love you. Right. Yeah. So, and I'm reminded of, you know, the Go Compare man who does the adverts for the insurance company Go Compare. He's you know, for those of you who don't have English television, you're really not missing very much. But if there is such a thing as television anymore. Anyway, he does the adverts where he is a tenor and he sings Go Compare, Go Compare. And the first year he was the Go Compare man. He's an opera singer, Welsh opera singer.
Got
the first
serious
year,
hate, didn't
he was getting hate everywhere he went. And he met up with the advertising agency and he was like, I was sure they were going to sack me. And he said to his agent, he said to the representative from the advertising agency, he goes, is it going badly? You know, do you think they'll sign me on? And the guy just laughed at him. It's going brilliantly. He goes, but everyone hates me. He goes, that's the point. Yeah. If they hate you, they talk about you. People tell 25 people if they hate something. They tell 5 if they like it.
That is always true. Yeah, yeah.
Let them talk about us. Let them say what they want. I have never had a problem with Chelsea fans, Man United fans, Tottenham fans.
No, what you was alluding to in the previous stream, I was 110% sharing your viewpoint. It gets annoying when our own fan base won't circle the wagons.
Yeah.
When we start tearing ourselves down, we don't need to.
They want credit because they saw it, you know, like they'll say, like we said, like, you know, your standards are the cause of this problem, and all kinds of nonsense like that. But for me, I don't want to. One of the things when you look at why we're disliked as a fan base, and again, to summarize, I don't care who likes us or hates us. I love us. That'll do me. But one of the reasons is because we do constantly see like we're the hard done to team. People say, oh, every team, like Wolves, when we had Miles Lewis-Skelly sent off against Wolves and we complained about it because it was a ridiculous sending off. And they said, well, you're doing that and Wolves are there and they've had the worst VAR decisions. I'm like, yeah, but I don't think you should only call out bad VAR decisions if they happen to other people. I think if every other fan had been honest and said, you know what, actually, that is a really shocking sending off. Or the one that really upset me was, when Declan Rice gets sent off against Brighton and everyone's like, by the letter of the law. And you go, that's never happened before. Mm. So anyway.
The whole letter of the law stuff. Yeah, don't. But the
letter of the law is
the Arsenal kind of detraction. I've got my theory on that. And that is, you've got to remember that it was a working class sport and we were owned by the Bank of England Eton boys. Yeah, we were the big London club. So all the Northern lot kind of, there was the city resentment. There was the posh boys, we was the old Bank of England club, wasn't we? Yeah. And so there was the classism, there was the location, there was all of that sort of stuff going into it. Then historically, we had black players in our team. We were the first team to field a side with no Englishmen in it. You forget all the hate that came through the Wenger years, and all the rest of it.
It's not true, that, by the way. Liverpool were the first side to see.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, but
I remember more being blown up about us.
Rush, basically it was Scottish, Irish.
Okay, so if you're home count, okay.
For non-UK, I think we were. I'm going to rattle through some of these because I don't want to get caught out. Stanley Cup has nothing about world in it, even though you're the best hockey club in the world. You probably must be, I guess. Salute Moss, beautiful. Before last season, I was spending $350 or $350 on season kits. I think it's a great hobby.
Got to collect something.
I don't get me wrong. I wish I had some of them. I wish I had the 89 away kit. I love that. Razor's still stuck on his 85 season kit. Come on, Razor.
I love the bruised banana. I wish I kept.
Yeah, do you know what I do? I've got a scarf, but I would definitely. There's a few I would have if I had more money behind me. So maybe do a Rosie and let's put some money in the pot and I'll wear all kinds of. That's a bad reason to ask for it, isn't it? Mel, that'd be awesome. Please do help him out with your red member ticket. Real Sociedad, Mikel Martin. I don't know what that means. Hi, Jordan. I know what that means. So if Foden was black, he'd be getting the same treatment, but he escapes negative press. So I honestly feel like that. And I have never, in all the time on this channel, I have my feelings, and my feelings have been in the past that certain players get treated differently. Saka's been treated differently.
Oh, definitely.
Every bloody season we have to put up with this debate. Is Saka as good as Foden? Is Saka as good as Cole Palmer? I have no idea who it's going to be next season, but the fact that it's a different player every season tells you something, doesn't it?
I think, let's put it in a different way. The whole Foden, Saka, because people go, well, what about trophies? I can't remember a single trophy that City have won where Foden was the instrumental person in that trophy. He was surrounded by greatness.
I will say, actually, he was really important.
Very good at times.
No, I think he was really important last season to them. I would say that he really stepped up when they were without, De Bruyne. No, listen, I'm not against him. I'm just saying that, okay, let's say for 2 seasons it's been Foden or Saka. Then it was Foden, then it was Saka or Cole Palmer, and next season it'll be Saka and someone else. And that tells you everything about Saka. He has been at the top. Now they're saying Saka or Salah, and that's a level.
That's a big, yeah. So what I was going to say was, if you take Foden out of the City team and put Saka in there, City that could even do better, in my opinion. You put Foden in the Arsenal team, and I don't think Foden would be as effective during that period in the Arsenal team.
I think
Saka was.
It might be club allegiances. It might be being partisan. All I would say on this subject, and I think this is the only position I have, would I take a swap for Foden and Saka? No. Whether I'm wrong or right doesn't matter to me.
No
Arsenal fan is swapping Saka for Foden.
No,
Maybe there's no Man City fan that would go the other way. Great, and we're all happy with what we got, and we can concentrate.
Okay, taking on what you said there, it comes out in the press next week. We're switching Saka for Foden.
No,
do you think the City fans would be
as angry? I think some of them might be.
We would be upset.
Maybe. I don't know. Is the trick? This is the thing that modern football fandom has become about peeing contests, doesn't it? Because you got like, who's a bigger club, City or Arsenal? And I always just think, who cares? Who cares? It's not like every season I look at a menu and go, right, Barcelona. No, I'll stay with the Arsenal. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? I'm an Arsenal fan.
I'm going to more, yeah. You know.
Yeah, if we're the smallest club in the world, I'm still an Arsenal fan. I'm just getting more chance of a season ticket.
I said to my son today, I said, do you regret being an Arsenal fan? I said, because obviously I've bestowed this upon you. Yeah. And I was like, would you pick your club again? He went, no, I love this club. I was like,
proud father moment.
He hasn't seen us win a trophy. Like the FA Cup, he was a bit too young. He wasn't really into football at that moment.
Do you know what? That's the beautiful cyclical nature of like society, of growth and decay, of human everything, right? You get the kind of soft underbelly of fans that were around for all our good years, and then we're like, well, this isn't any fun anymore, and they piss off. And then underneath that layer is a hard, tough layer that's never seen the sunlight. And one day the sun shines on them and they are a hardy bunch. And I will say, like, at the moment, because the fans that are true at Newcastle or Villa, and like we said on Tuesday, those fans have never seen anything and they still sing and they still enjoy football somehow. And if you're telling me that football's all about trophies, I should be in the queue a long way behind them, because most of the people that take time out of their day to write stupid comments or email me saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, it's all about trophies, those people haven't seen the trophies I've seen. So,
but do those people ever turned up to the matches?
I doubt.
Felt that community among fans?
I doubt it.
Gone to the away days, all of those things, other than I'm going to banter my mate about.
What I will say though, I love. There's loads of places in the world I want to go and watch Arsenal. I'd love to go and watch us in Nigeria. I'd love to go and watch us. I've watched us in Malaysia. I've watched us in Thailand, and it's brilliant. It's a brilliant vibe. But I want to go to America. I want to go to some of those Arsenal pubs in America where like you get the atmosphere. So I think whether you're going to one of those events or you're going to the stadium, it's becoming similar. I think it's
about time we toured Africa, though. It's about time we got over there, I think.
Rwanda. We've been telling everyone else to visit Rwanda for long enough.
Rwanda, Nigeria, Ghana. We've got massive following in Ghana.
Hey, we've got massive. I'm really glad we're doing the Far East again, because I think having been in Malaysia and Indonesia, we have more Arsenal fans in Indonesia than we do in England.
Well, I remember reading the stat that there's more people learning English in China than we've got population, basically.
Yeah, well, there's some people over here that could do with brushing up on their. I'm such a pedant as well when people write stupid comments and I correct the grammar. Just like, you're an arsehole.
When I'm doing it, I was like, oh, here he goes, because I hate texting and typing. I just keep it as basic as possible.
Yeah. So Chris Nix is here. Wonderful. Lovely to see you. Hey, darlings.
Hello,
on Marcelo Skelly, there was a sense from some pundits of your place, dark side to also look compared to Grealish. 100%. Thank you. I didn't even think of Grealish. It's absolutely true. Like Grealish out boozing. What a lad. Well, he knows how to have fun. What would you do? He's won a lot. Marcus Rashford out boozing. Disgraceful.
Yeah.
I grew up in the same bar in London as a Carlo. I don't know if you know him. The rapper, his sister was Miss Dynamite. But he's brilliant. He's an absolutely brilliant writer. He grew up in Tufnell Park, and in his book, he writes about his experience growing up as a young
booth and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he does a brilliant fire in a booth. Yeah. And he's really talented. He's hugely talented. But he talks about the times he's been stopped in the streets by police in Tufnell Park. And I'm casting my mind back to I never even saw police in Tufnell Park. So I think if you take those experiences, although he's 10 years younger than me, I I've always kind of seen the world as I see it. I can't see it through somebody else's eyes. But when I've been out with friends, like the only times I've ever been stopped in a car, my friend driving, and I've never, do you know what I mean? So I think it is true that there are different experiences in London for different colour of skin.
Of course there is.
Hopefully it's getting better, but I'm seeing this with MLS. And with some of the pundits were quick to jump on him for know his place, dark undertones to it. I don't want to hijack this stream and just talk about that. I'm just calling it out where I see it, because saying that he didn't applaud when there is video evidence of him clapping. All right, he's not giving it some, but Bernardo Silva didn't applaud at all. He went out holding 2 water bottles, so he couldn't applaud. No one, I remember anyone going in on that. Nathan, welcome. There is no alternative universe where Manchester City and bigger than the Arsenal.
There might be, yeah.
Do you know what? I think becoming the size of a club like Man City brings its own problems. We saw it happen to Man United. Suddenly you've got this whole tribe of Man United fans who don't know anything about Manchester, don't care about, they're just glory hunters. It's Man City have got them now. Everywhere you look, you go, yeah, we're City. It's in our DNA to win. And you go,
no. Yeah.
Thanks for Paul Dickov. That's all you should be saying to us. That's all you need to say to us.
Oh, Paul Dickov.
He's quick. Bring him to Anfield and let's hurry and get it. I can't wait. Who's quick? What are you talking about? Frimpong. Oh, beg pardon. Hey, John, I like the Frimpong. Looks,
Frimpong. I mean, if they get that done for 30 million, they have stolen him. And I can't believe everyone else has sat by watching it happen. Particularly City.
City surprises me. I don't think we could have done it. It sounds like one of those deals that I think it was a deal that Arnie, I don't know. I bet it is a great deal. Absolutely class signing. But it should take a year for him to settle in. Finally, Trent gone, Chris. Finally, Trent gone. How quickly they turn. Arsenal big in New York. If you want to go to America, I really. I have seen Arsenal play in New York, and it was the game where Thierry Henry turned and volleyed the ball in that sweet motion. And I shit you not, I was watching it at my friend's house, loads of people around, in New York, and they put an advert on just before that happened. And I was like,
no.
I'm not kidding you. It was an advert. I don't know if it's what cable provider or whatever, but the advert came on. I was like, what? Someone turned the channel over. He goes, no, man, it's an advert. And I was like, but there's a match. And he goes, yeah, but they put the occasional advert in. And I was like, well, what if something happens? Turned round and it was free, and he took this goal. And I was like, I could have missed that. Well, anyway, look at me. I'm losing blood pressure, Dan. Blood pressure. Retro Music Man. Sing us a song, you superstar. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Love that. Pac-Man.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, brilliant. I need to work on mine. Retro, you and Luca make up, back broke. Don't know what that means. Did you make up? Yeah, no, hope not. Jordan, I haven't caught him live yet. I don't think you will. I think he's hiding from you. There was a stream that Retro Music Man did where he was calling out Luca talks balls, and it was really funny. Like when you're watching, if sometimes it's your mate, right? Sometimes your mate engages someone in a battle of wits, and you're just like, oh, I wouldn't. This guy absolutely tore him a new one. Right, so I'm almost caught up here. Paul Dickov parents. What they're thinking is your last name is Dickov. Don't call your child Paul. That's not a lot. It's not a lot you're going to get away with, though, is there? Nice to meet you, Rosie. The Arsenal bar I used to go to has over a decade, has really taken off now. Most popular ever. Americans know how to do sports bars. Like, there's no doubt. It just is. It is just a great, I loved it. He give you back the mod, Retro, did he? 11 likes. You know what to do, people. 11? That seems reasonable. The Blind Pig was a Go Arsenal bar, but it's shut down, and now the home of Arsenal is O'Hanlon's. I'd love that. I've got to go to New York because I've got to go to Brooklyn because I've got to have a crispy pizza. That's all there is to it. That's on the agenda for next year. I've seen, this is a bit harsh, but I'm reading it out. Maybe I shouldn't. I've seen that Luke around on YouTube. Absolute dildo.
Oh.
I know, but he does bring it on himself. Right. Who bloody hit the thumbs down button? You want some? Some no, have they? Or you can go to Spike Lee's bar. They cover Arsenal. Is Spike Lee? I'd love to think Spike Lee was an Arsenal fan. That would be brilliant.
you know what?
Also, I want to go and I want to get your opinion. You might not know much about this fella. I have to be honest, I didn't either. Not that I don't watch a lot of Club Bruges. Joel
There's centre mid.
Yeah, well, he's played centre back for them on the right side, centre back,
centre back and left right back, centre back, right back. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be lying if I said I know anything about him, but this is a deal done. Apparently, he's 21 years old, Ecuadorian.
I don't know. Can you see that? Spike Lee is an Arsenal fan.
Oh, is he? Brilliant. I've always I love his films, so that makes perfect sense. Yes, and I have it on good authority. Jose,
there we go. The ex-gunner. Jose says so.
That'll do me.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw a comment about he done well against Liverpool if they played.
Yeah,
there was a Liverpool fan that
played Atalanta. That was the game that I saw. I don't remember him. And listen, I've always liked the Ecuadorian players that Brighton have had. Yeah. But it kind of comes back to something Jose was asking earlier. Is like, are we after are we spending £22 million on a centre back because Saliba? I think Saliba's staying, but it does look like Kivior's gone.
Well, I think I like the days when you had 4 centre backs personally. Where you had
we do have 4 centre backs. We also have, I'm not sure he's going to make it, but Maldini Kakuri is a centre back. We do have 4 centre backs. Obviously, Jurrien Timber can play a centre back. Ben White can play a centre back.
Yeah.
We have Kivior who can play a centre back. We have obviously Saliba, Gabriel play a centre back. So we have centre backs. I think fit, available. I think we're going to see a lot of outgoings, aren't we? Yeah. I mean, do we want to have a quick... I'm going to do a proper show on this, and I want to get everyone's opinions, but I suppose we could do a quick run through of keep and leave. Obviously, Neto is gone, and David Raya is a number 1, and it does look like we are going out for Jose Garcia or Joan. I don't know how to say it.
Juan Garcia or Joan Garcia.
It's just normally Juan, isn't it? Juan. And this one's Joan. I don't know. Kieran Tierney's gone.
Yeah, poor old KT. I love KT.
Yeah, I do. I'm surprised we couldn't. Yeah, he should have had more game time, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
But Miles Lewis Skelly's staying. Obviously, Ben White, we've kind of touched on already. I think we both keep Ben White.
Sorry, just to go back through. Oh, you bugger. Tierney is gone. We've got obviously Neto and Sterling return.
Yeah. Well,
Jesus is still out
till January.
Yeah. Zinchenko is one of the big rumours of going, isn't he?
Yeah, we apparently were open to offers the last 2 seasons, but now there's
Jorginho's going.
Yeah. Well, let me go through it in the order that I've like.
Yeah, go for it.
So Takehiro Tomiyasu's injured. Obviously, I think we're all keeping Jurrien Timber. Jacob Kivior, would you let him go?
I think I would, for the money that he's probably worth at the moment. I think it would be wise to, because it seems like we've got this youngster coming in.
Yeah, I think the advantage of buying, I don't know this Wilderness, so I think I would summarise my position on it is I'd have a chat with him and go, please stay. You'll get game time. We're going to rotate. You have acquitted yourself brilliantly.
He's a decent player.
He's definitely a decent player. I mean, like Champions
League. I feel the same about Calafiori. You've just got to play these players in the right place. They're not left backs.
No, that's fair. Well, then you've forgotten all about him because if you're talking about Calafiori, then we definitely have centre backs already, don't we? So the keeper position is the one that's killing our progress. Every window buying. I do hate the keeper position so much.
The moment it means Raya's gone. He's taken the number 1 shirt. He's gone. We'll be selling him to Madrid. You know it. You know it's true. He'll be gone.
Yeah,
he's going to get replaced. I'm saying it now. He's going to be out of the what do you reckon? October? By October.
Shut up! No, I don't reckon that. And I think you're just winding me up now.
You did. You sent me a private message. I saw it.
Yeah, take a screenshot of that private message. No, I'm keeping David Raya's.
I love Raya. I love David.
I love him. I'm sorry for Ramsdale, but it hasn't worked out. I mean, 3 relegations now, hat-trick of relegations.
I don't ever blame. You can't blame a keeper for relegation.
No, of course not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I think he's the reason.
Unlucky on his choice of club. Yeah,
I don't think that's luck.
No,
I think
really bad
most luck. All right, no, it's not luck at all. Because when he went to Southampton, I remember doing a show, and that wasn't just me saying this. There are people in the comments, probably people here tonight, and the news story was it was X amount that could go up to 30 million if Southampton avoid relegation, and everyone was like, "Well, yeah, but they're not, are they?" So, and here we are.
No, but I mean, the amount of teams that need a keeper, I was surprised that he went Southampton.
Yeah, because there were bigger clubs talking about him, definitely. But maybe he's been found out. Maybe you don't. You're saying you can't blame a keeper for being relegated. I'm saying no one is blaming a keeper for being relegated.
No. I wasn't saying you was. I wasn't. But relegated 3 times, yeah.
That's that.
There are some fans out there that will say that, he's been relegated for it. No, I'm not saying you are, but they say it in a way that detract him from him, like he's responsible. I mean, I think for 2 of those relegations, he was player of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, we signed him on the strength of those 2 relegations. Yeah. So Jakub Kiwior, I think we were resigned to leaving.
Yeah,
but I don't
think because I think the offer we're going to get for him, we would be unwise to say no to for a non.
And I think that applies here as well. Kiwior is worth 35 to 40 million right now, in my opinion. And I think that's a really good estimate. I think more than that's a bit hopeful. Less than that probably wouldn't sell him. What did we spend on him? 18, 20 million, something like that?
Something like that.
So it's a good return. It's a shame because I think, you want to build from a good foundation, and I don't really want us to mess with our defence. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But we definitely need to be spending a lot of time on the attack. There's no question about that. Neto is horse shit. He's only played that 1 game and he was gave away a goal. 9 million for Tavares. I'd have to look into that. Tavares and Lokonga gone. Reece Nelson gone. Jorginho gone.
Yeah.
Xhaka was rubbish. Where's that come from? Have you been at the Earth Vader? Have you been at the old Scrumpy, Mike?
The old Scrumpy, he's out there.
Gert Lush. Zinny gone. Zinny is gone, and I'm going to get to Zinny because let's do him now because he's in them. I'm going to miss him.
I like Zinny. I like Zinny as a left-sided number 8 personally. Yeah, more than a left back.
I wouldn't be playing him much more but I like he's versatile. I think you can play him as a left back. It's funny, isn't it? For a team that has too many left backs, let's say Calafiori does go because there's a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
Zinny goes, Tierney goes, Calafiori goes. We're suddenly Mars Lewis
very
Skelly.
Light on number on a squad that was already light. We're very light.
Yeah, I feel like we're losing a lot of players. You don't want to bring in 9 players in a transfer window.
I think you'll see we will.
I really hope we don't. Kiwior sell. Brutal. Miss Molina's in brutal mood. Kiwior has a good 6 weeks. Stock got up. Very good 6 weeks. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? We should just bring Xhaka back another season. We'll win the title. I don't know. That's just for Miss Molina, isn't it? That's the only reason we're doing that. I'd keep him, and I reckon the club will keep him too. To be honest, stepped up massively. Won't be long in top Serie A. Will be similar. They already are. If we're talking about Kiwior,
I don't think I'd be surprised if he makes it to August.
Yeah, I don't think he will. So we've I know we're keeping Saliba and Gabriel. I'm not even asking. That's a silly question. Midfield, where we're not well stocked. We're not well stocked. These are our current first team midfielders. I'm not including Jack Henry Francis and Jim Gower. Mikel Merino, that's a keep, obviously. Jorginho's gone. Thomas Partey, we discussed earlier. I think we both keep, don't we?
I think just through sheer volume of what we have to do this year, yes.
And then the only other 2 that are out and out midfielders in terms of where they play every week, Declan Rice and Martin. And I'm doing this for Sam Greenwood. Sam, if you're watching,
and MLS, I'm going to put MLS in there.
Yeah, but we've already done him, so we're already keeping him. That's a given. But I'm trying to say Odegaard properly now. Odegaard. No, can't do it. Sorry.
The Swedish chef.
Well, We were talking about this because obviously old Sam's in Norway, isn't he? So I was saying it's funny because in Norway they call him the Swedish chef. In Sweden they call him the Norwegian chef.
No, okay.
Because apparently they don't think they sound like that. Sell. You know what? Earth Vader. You don't want to get on his wrong side. He's brutal. Get rid of that. Get rid of that Odegaard. Don't like him. Don't like Arteta. Don't like Win the Dog. Don't like murals. Don't like TV. Don't like larder.
Right, my lover. Yeah.
Don't like your shirt. Don't like your arms. Don't like big ears. Love you though, Earth Vader. City are going after Rangers. Yes, they are. I mean, they are out. They are spending money. If we spend money, they're spending money.
I mean, I feel like Liverpool are going to have a good on top of. So, I mean, I feel like the resecuring of Salah and Virgil van Dijk, this is going to sound nuts, could become a millstone at some point for them because they've signed them on big wages.
That is funny. That is not what I thought you were going to say at all. I thought you were going to go the other way on that one. I agree. I listen. Don't get me wrong. You have to extend Mo Salah because every season he's been good, but
they're 34
there was
now.
a point. There was a point at this season where it looked like he was out on his own and he's dropped off. You know, the game against Paris Saint-Germain, he wasn't really there. He hasn't been great in the last 2 or 3 months. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that proves anything one way or the other, but I can see my view of it is that next season he won't be Mo Salah. But we're all going to get to find out what.
Well, who would be Casemiro? It just left it, you know, all of a sudden, bang, and it happens that quickly for world-class football.
Casemiro.
Yeah, Casemiro.
No, I don't think it happened that quickly for Casemiro.
Well, within a season.
No, I don't think it was. I think he was pretty shocking. I mean, there was towards the end of the season before, when Erik ten Hag had started playing him as centre back, his head had gone. His head had gone. Like he had that absolute shocker at centre back, and I just don't think he wanted to be there anymore. I don't think people enjoy being at Man United. I think, you know, I worked in a place not that long ago that was toxic. And the money was good. Everything about the job was good, but you just don't want to go to work every day. And when it's
it affects you. Yeah, no, I get that.
So we go. I told you, Anthony Herbert. He's been on the sherbet. Sell Havertz. He's crap. He is.
Do you know what? I would like Havertz. I still see.
I love him.
I still see the player there. I think him behind a Gyökeres or Sesko coming from the seriously, I can see him being devastating.
I was looking at this today thinking, how does that Gyökeres Kai Havertz link up work? And I think, well, I have my concerns about Gyökeres, but I think I don't rate my own ability to judge a player well enough, and I haven't seen him play well enough. But I worry if he's got the confidence to be a striker. But then it's what people were saying on Tuesday, and I can't remember who first said it, but I really love this. I think it might have been someone on AFTV, and they were saying, listen, if Mourinho can bang him in, then you stick Gyökeres up there, he will definitely score. He does. Right. He is a goal scorer.
There is that.
So,
I'll go with that. But I think there is that bit where looking at our team composite, okay, just, you was just going through your first 11. Just give us your first 11 for next season, bearing in mind we're bringing in Zubimendi. So that guy's got to start. And I would say, if we say it was signing Gyökeres, he's got to start because you're not bringing them both in to sit on the bench, are you?
No.
So because do you want me to give you the reason why I'm asking the question, or do you want to just?
No, I think I know where you're asking the question. I think it's a good question. You're asking for the first 11, right?
Yeah. Just as you see it. So,
I would caveat to that is what you were saying earlier, and a few people have been saying, I think you need 2 players for every position. So, when I know it seems trivial to talk about Championship Manager, but Championship Manager is essentially a computer game where you are asked to pick players, and you start to see the problems with rotation and stuff like that, and you have to do that. My first 11 is with Raya in goal. I'm playing Ben White at right back, Jurrien Timber at left back, and Saliba and Gabriel.
Right.
I would then I probably would be talking about a double pivot with Declan Rice and Zubimendi.
Yep.
But I'm not doing that yet. So I would say first party Rice, and then Odegaard. Odegaard. I'm like fucking. It's like the Pink Panther. What's his name? I'm that guy. Odegaard. I'm gonna from now on. This one's just for Sam Greenwood. Whenever I say Odegaard, I'm going to do it in a Peter Sellers French voice. Odegaard. Actually, that sounded.
That was different. Yeah, go
on. So the midfield, and I get what you're saying about changing formation, but like Arteta hasn't changed formation in a while, so maybe not, right? So for me, I would be looking to line up. This is a tough one, isn't it? Because Declan,
because somebody's got to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how you do that is not easy because you are going to have to play Gyökeres.
Yep. So he's going to be your centre forward. Then you're going to have to definitely have Saka on the right wing, and then there's going to be the new left winger. So then this is where
who is the new left winger? Because I think it's Nico Williams, and I don't want it.
I hope not. I'd prefer Semenyo personally.
I'd prefer Semenyo. I'd prefer Demola Lookman. I like Jamie Gittins.
Jamie Gittins would be my second choice.
Yeah. I like all of them. I don't know.
Okay. So if you've got Gyökeres, new left wing, Saka, because that's going to be your front three.
Yeah, but let's say who the new left wing is.
Okay.
Because there isn't a firm new. I mean, Nico Williams is. So we're going to have to say it's Williams.
I was going to say Gittins.
It's not. It's not. I don't think it's not going to be Gittins because even if Gittins plays, he's not going to start ahead of Martinelli. He's a good understudy to Martinelli.
If Martinelli stays.
No, Martinelli's staying. He's staying.
Oh, I don't know.
No, he's staying. He's staying. He's staying. Here we go. I can confirm that he's staying.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I always get it when he goes with add-ons.
With add-ons.
When you find him, you think, oh, he's the most amazing. And nowadays, you just watch it, and he's just on the fence all the time. He goes, I know that Arsenal are looking very seriously at a striker. And you're like, fucking all right, then.
I think I think we're going to do the front three, right? We need the left wing and we need the right wing because then they will stop doubling up on Saka, which then he will potentially add to his numbers. Then the midfield, I can see. Zubimendi is not coming. He's not turning down Madrid and other teams to come and sit on our bench. So he's in the first 11.
No, true. But I mean,
you don't put your 100 million midfielder on the bench either. So he's in the team.
No, I get all that, but I'm talking about the kind of very first games of the season rather than the whole season.
Okay.
Because I would come back to the point we both made in different ways, which is that this is a squad game now. And I don't think, and I think, forgive me, I'd have to scroll up to see which of you wonderful people put what I completely agree with, which is that there's no longer an 11-man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do.
100%. 5 substitutions, 25-man squads, money coming in from oil-rich countries. There's no reason. I mean, Man City have been playing with the 20. They have spread their minutes out. Kai should go down to 90 grand a week. It's not going to happen, no. And I really like Kai Havertz. I don't know why he's getting some. He's scored goals for us. So footballers are known for being reasonable about wage drops. It's a short career. I'd get Šeško and Gyökeres. I would as well, Jose, 100%. I was talking about Anthony Herbert, Nathan. Run Šeško on the left and Gyökeres down. No, I'm not playing Šeško on the left, but I'm not. Now that you've said it, I just don't think he's got the pace to go past people, but I just like Gittins. If I'm honest, if I like Gittins because he's unpredictable and he's got, like, for me, Gittins on the left, Saka on the right, it just looks good to me.
So with our midfield, I was thinking because we're apparently bringing in a number 10 out of sorts. So then that means Merino, Havertz, and Odegaard are looking at bench or vying for that central position behind the striker.
Yeah, because you haven't mentioned Nwaneri either.
No.
The natural player So Odegaard, if I'm looking at a double pivot with Declan Rice and Thomas Partey, Odegaard just ahead of him doesn't really look good to me. I would rather have Nwaneri playing ahead of those two. I don't know. The problem with this whole captain thing is you can't bench a captain, but purely on merit, if it's done on merit and you have backups, you will be trying other players this season over if we had them.
But we haven't said about putting Kai in the team, so that's a 65 million substitute.
No, Kai's yes, but Kai's versatile, can play midfield, not well, can play out on the right, not well. Look, I've seen him play right back for Germany. He's a good player. He's got skills. I like Kai Havertz. He just doesn't look like a footballer. But if you actually look at the games he's been involved in, he does his job and he is an Arteta player, right? So I think he'll get game time. And surprises, no one saw Marino playing up top. God help us if we have to do that again. But for me, you're bringing in Gyökeres. He has to play. Kai Havertz can't play on the left. Saka ain't playing on the left. So if we don't go out and sign a left winger, the big area we need to sign someone, right, I think is the centre forward, and we've done that. And I'm with Jose when he says we should be buying two. I think whether it's Šeško and Gyökeres, which I would like, or Jonathan David, if from when Moss has been talking about this a lot, and I agree with him, Jonathan David is an excellent player, represents great value for money at a total combined cost of 35 million. If that includes his wages for a year as well. Definitely very doable deal, that one, unless he has gone to Napoli already. But I don't see that. I honestly don't. I don't think he is really the Conte player that the player that Conte wants. So I think we have to go out and get a left winger. I would love it to be Ademola Lookman, Jamie Gittins, or someone who I like. I'm not a fan of Nico Williams. I can't make myself. But there's a lot of talk today about Rodrigo.
I know. And I was looking at Rodrigo's stats, and he does play left wing. He has played left wing. And his return when he does play left wing has been quite good.
Yeah. And I like him. He obviously does want to leave. I'm pretty sure he wants to leave. Anthony has stopped shouting about players and angrily lucring about players. He's gone 4-2-3-1 formation, our back four with Rice and Zubimendi and Osimhen up front. I don't think we're getting Osimhen. He's just too expensive. He wants 20 million. I mean, he wants a ridiculous amount of money. That's the problem. No one's paying it. Sam Greenwood is kindly trying to boot his own balls. Vitamin K. The word Arteta triggers me. Can we use a safe word? The governor. Does that help? How about the Gov? Boss man. I agree that. Where's Malia? I miss Malia. I agree. I get triggered. I don't even support Arsenal. You get triggered about everything. Rose, serenity now. I love that. BX, what about asshole? Is that safe? Don't know. Is yours safe? Herbert. Declan and Timber started day one. Jesus 2. David Raya didn't know. I think when you spend 105 million quid on a player, he starts, right? I don't think that's a big surprise. Timber did start day one, but that was it. That's all he started. And then he had a year out. So you never know. I don't know. Victor Gyökeres is definitely in the pre-season tour, and we'll get to see a bit of him, and I really look forward to it. Gyökeres is a missing piece. Already looking forward to next season. The more I see him, the more resigned I am to the fact he's coming, the happier I am, honestly. I don't think there's nothing. He's a great player. My bugbear, he's 20, he's a good age. He scores twice the goals for Sweden that Alexander Isak does. And he's half the price.
Yeah, I mean, I the whole Marino, I think I've, on another chat, WhatsApp chat, I think I've made the point that, after what Marino, like what you said about AFTV, any striker that is just got that hunger for goals, I don't give a stuff about. I just want to put the ball in the back of the net.
You don't know. I mean, why didn't he do it at Brighton?
Coventry.
He was at Brighton first.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah, he was at Brighton. Didn't score a single goal for Brighton. He did score for Coventry. No, he's
He's had 2 seasons in Portugal now, hasn't he?
But Darwin Núñez had 2 really good seasons in Portugal. I mean, I don't know. I can't call it.
Well,
I would rather.
What was he 23 then when he was back 22 when he was?
He left Coventry at 24. He just signed for Coventry at 22. I think Brighton was the team he was at before. I'll look it up, but I think he was at. So hang on.
Well, I mean, Sesko's 21, and this is a debate that I've had with some others.
Sesko, the difference. Listen, the major
Sesko's
difference
21, and he's banging them in the Bundesliga.
Nick, wait 1 second. Yeah, there is a difference between scoring the goals that Sesko's scoring in the Bundesliga and scoring the goals that Gyökeres is. I mean, the Bundesliga, there is a route to the Premier League through the Bundesliga. Erling Haaland, Sadio Mane. Well, actually, that's a different Bundesliga. It's the Austrian Bundesliga. But the Red Bull Salzburg academies have produced some great footballers that go on to Germany, do really well. Obviously, Erling Haaland went to Dortmund. Sesko's gone to Leipzig. I think that I mentioned this on Tuesday. I think the player that we ought to be looking at, and a creative midfielder as well. And I really, really want. I'd love us to put in a bid. I said this in summer as well. Xavi Simons. If anyone who watches the Bundesliga, he is outstanding. Yeah, he's had his injury problems this season, which is probably a good thing because it means they've got them out of the way.
Sign Simons and Sesko.
Yeah, I don't. If I could only pick one, if I could pick one, it's definitely Simons over Sesko. But yeah, so he was at Brighton, didn't score. He went on loan to Brighton. He was at Brighton, then he left, went Swansea. Yeah, he's just never scored for Brighton. And to be fair, at Coventry, he scored 21 goals in 49 games, which is great. But if there was a player right now in the Championship scoring 21 goals in 49 games, I don't think we'd all be jumping up and down for him. He's gone and built his reputation as Europe's premier striker by doing it at Sporting. And his goals tally is great. I misspoke on Tuesday.
His Champions League tally
saying, yes, it's decent. He's 6 goals, I think he scored. But 3 of them were against Man United. So, yeah, listen, I think he's going to be an Arsenal player. So I'm not trying to hate on him at all. But he would not have been my first choice striker. But then saying that, my first choice striker would have been Alexander Isak. And maybe I'm wrong about that one. He didn't play for Brighton first team, did he? No, it wasn't his first team. No, he did. I see what you mean. The Brighton first team. I don't know if he ever, I think he played 5 times for the Brighton first team, is my understanding. But my father-in-law always teased me. He's like, Gyökeres was shit. And he was for Brighton. Very young man, though. Things change. Pulisic, Firmino and Son. Sesko is tomorrow. Gyökeres is now. Yeah, I think that's a really fair point. Arsenal needs players for now. But we do also need players for tomorrow because we are planning to have a tomorrow. And we don't have any young strikers coming through.
Is Gary coming on? Is Gary
we should do. If it's good to have a say, anyone who wants to come on, I welcome everyone. I've even had drunken Man United fans on before, but I've got Rosie looking out for us now. She'll let me know if someone's a bit of a wrong one. João Pedro links. João Pedro, I really like João Pedro, but I don't know if I would go for him. But I haven't seen the links, so I think that's encouraging. The big stories are that we've reached a verbal agreement. I've totally forgotten his name now, for the Club Bruges centre back. I swear to God, everyone suddenly knows all about these players, don't they?
No, I didn't know about him.
No, he's Ecuadorian. Yeah, I watched him play for Ecuador. Yeah, I stayed up till 2 in the morning.
I know him well. And
he's brilliant. Christian Mosquero, Valencia likes him. Ordonez, that's it. Ordonez. That's how I'm going to remember it from now on. Is this the Brighton Pedro? Well, João Pedro links. I don't know. I haven't seen any João Pedro links. You're ahead of me there, Jose. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we were linked to him. The big links have been, and this is why I led with it in the show. We're signing Gyökeres. It's an here we go, there we go. I need a catchphrase. Mosquero choked Havertz. Okay, I have to look that up. That sounds quite good. I'm looking forward to the day Jose goes. Yes, I am. Jose goes live with you, Dan. I'm hoping that a safe word is activated and you both start boxing. My money is on Melina. She'd beat the shit out of everyone.
She would. Yeah.
I'd never fight Melina. Melina's too wonderful, too important to the show. Talks too much sense. You wouldn't want to, oops, I've accidentally turned something on I shouldn't have done. I'm still here. Right. Yeah, obviously the link's there. Off to bed now. I think you need a good night's sleep, Earth Vader. I think the sun, I know you work outdoors. I think the sun's got to you there a bit, hasn't it? I ate Aberts. I ate Odegaard. I ate a bit cranky. You come back now, you hear? Earth Vader.
Good night, Earth Vader.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let bed bugs bite. Good night, celery. Night, Herbert. Remember your vitamin K in the morning, celery.
Night, Herbert.
Did I have a... Hang on, media. I'm checking my media assets. No, I didn't upload it in the end. I've done a little video. I've done a little video for Earth Vader, which I keep meaning to upload, but I haven't uploaded it yet, which I will do in short order. Maybe later, Rosie.
Sorry, on left wing, Anthony Gordon. No, not sold.
No, I like him. I just don't see it. I don't. I realise that Newcastle, if they qualify for the Champions League, I don't think they're in so much trouble. I think they were in financial problems because they weren't in Europe.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine.
I think they'll be fine. They're going to keep Isak and Bruno Guimaraes, and I think Anthony Gordon's too important to them. But I think they need to bring players in, so maybe they do need to. They need. It depends what Joel Linton stays or goes. I think Newcastle. Do you think they'll finish above us this season?
No.
Arguably, they should because they've won.
No, we've got the home game. I think we play that like a cup final.
Oh God! Don't say that. We haven't been in a cup final.
No, but we go at it. We're at home for God's sake. We
were at home in the semi-final and they killed us.
Well,
no, I don't know.
I think we owe them some.
We owed them some. When we
do. We have done for a while now. They've had our number, but I think they are
along with Villa, and more than Villa actually. They are a bogey team.
But I think that second half at Anfield was pretty remarkable.
No.
Oh, I think so. 2-0 down to the home of the champions.
Remarkable if you're playing a team.
You're 2-0 down to the home of the champions, and you dig in.
Stop it.
No, I'm
getting a bit tired now.
No, that's what I believe. That's my view.
You can believe in all kinds of things, but come on, after you think about it a bit more, you think
I think Dan, when you think about it, in years gone by, 2-0 down at Anfield would have normally ended 5-0.
Nick, you're not listening to me, right? Put it this way: if you're talking about Liverpool have already won the league, they're 2-0 up. They don't care. It's a different team that we scored. They could easily have won that game in the death as well. But it wasn't. I don't think it's a heroic performance second half. I think we needed to see something from the players. But that game has a totally different complexion if it's...
had that been a title decider, I completely agree. But the fact that they did, and it then end up 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, which we were completely capable of after that first half.
When was the last time Liverpool beat us, though? The FA Cup in a year and a half ago. That's the last time they beat us.
But no, I took the fact that the players turned up in the second half and they fought, and they did. They've still got to beat them. Beat them, but they still got to fight their way back into the game, and they did. And I think there's a disservice to kind of. It's very easy to turn around and say, yeah, they've already got the pipe and slippers out. We had to fight. We had to earn that point, and we did. And they could have won it out of death, but so could we. Odegaard had that shot. We could have.
I think when you've got 15-point advantage, You've won the league. You've had the celebrations. You've had the guard of honour from the team at the start of the match. You get a 2-0 lead. I don't think Arnie Slot was reading them the right act at full time.
Oh, no, he wouldn't have been.
No, so everyone's happy. 2-2 draw. We saved face. It was another example, though. I haven't talked about this yet. Another example of football being ruined by VAR. Do you know what's really? Do you know I watch? Because you need to cheer yourself up at times, don't you? I watched Anfield '89. I watched almost a full match on YouTube, and there was this weird moment where I know. Look, obviously, I know Michael Thomas scores. I know it counts, but I was watching it all the way through. It was full match, and the commentary, and David Pleat stupidly saying, if Arsenal are to lose the title tonight, there's some justice in the fact that they've won this game. And every time he says it, stretching all the way back 36 years, I always go, "Shut up, you bellend!" I can't help it. But when
we had the goal disallowed, didn't it, as well?
That goal, when Michael Thomas scores at the death, I was going, "God, don't disallow this VAR." And I had this moment of like, "Oh my God, that's how football's changed."
I hate the fact that you can't celebrate a goal immediately anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I maintain it's not the technology; it's the cretins that are using it.
Yeah, but the technology, yes, on the surface, that's a really good argument, but it unravels quite quickly because the technology, it wasn't as though it was designed to not be used by humans. It was designed to be used by humans. And if you couldn't predict that the very humans using it would be bellends, when all of the other humans who've ever been referees are, then, the exact sort of person goes, "I'll do VAR. Let me just see that again. Right, let's see that in black and white. Okay, I want to see it from the top." It's like there are millions of people watching a game waiting for you to make a decision, and you take 4 minutes over it. That's the bloke in front of you at the bank machine that orders a checkbook and then orders his statement, and there's a queue of people behind him going, "Mate, come on." That's who VAR is. That's exactly who's in the VAR.
I go back to Brentford. They still take all that time and then forget to draw the lines and all of that.
Yeah, I know.
It just feels like, for me, it feels like willful incompetence.
The biggest annoyance for me isn't even how long they take, actually, although it does obviously get right under my skin. It's far more, goal goes in, right, rewind the game 20 minutes, see if there's any reason we could not give this.
Yeah, is there any reason why we can rule this out?
Oh, hang on, it's Tuesday. Yeah, he's not.
I don't like the way that the linesmen aren't just flagging for the most basic things anymore. Why have we taken that away from them?
I don't know, but I haven't, this is about the Forest player.
Because I've been saying that to my son for the majority of this season when we've been watching games. I'm like, why are they letting play go on? Someone could get injured in this next phase.
And then they do, and really badly. And then it's like, they shouldn't. It's
linesman 101. It's like when you're looking at a free kick and you're along because you line up with the wall. And so he's there watching it. He's watching the free kick and he's there. And automatically it happens week in, week out, all around the country, and the flag goes up if the forward's trying to gain as he takes the kick, right? But no, we'll keep the flag down now. And I'm like, why? Why have you what's the point? What's the point?
I mean, I'll extend your question to what is the point of an assistant referee on the pitch now?
Well, there is that, right?
I mean, really, what is the point? Because if he's just, I'll put my flag up now. No, it's all right. Don't worry about it, mate. We've got this. It's like, no, but I do just want to say Taiwo Awoniyi, I didn't see the game. I understand he's out of his induced coma now, and I can only, obviously that's what we all want. We want to see full recovery as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
No, it's, football is a distraction from some of the worst elements of being alive in the 21st century. And so when something like that happens,
that's the way to put it. Yeah.
It's supposed to be, isn't it? I mean, when you think about a friend of mine, he's a very good comedian, and he's done quite well. You'll have seen him in a few bits and pieces. He's not like world famous or anything, but it was his birthday and he did a video on, he's not on social media that much, but he was saying the world we live in right now, it's a bit hard to eat cake, isn't it? It's a bit hard to I don't talk about politics or anything, but I just think that there's things going on in the world right now. And I was just listening to him, and my instant reaction was, but I can't do anything about it. And he goes, look, I know we're only individuals and we can't do anything about it. But that is why I watch football. I watch football because you know, whether we win the league or not is a bit less serious, at least to me, than what's happening in Gaza.
Oh, blimey, yes.
But listening to people on AFT, what's wrong with my hat? What's going on here? Listen to people on AFT. I know, because mind you, Earth Vader's gone. He always pulls me up and stuff like that. But listen to people on AFTV and Lee Gunner, Tintin. You'd think, honestly, you would think this was more important. It's not, though, is it?
It's not. No, not in the terms of when you're talking about life or death and the suffering of a nation. No.
Bill Shankly said that, though, did he? Said people say, you know, it's not life and death, and it's not. It's far more important. I know that he was joking, of course.
Take care, Rosie. She's just come in and she's just said,
"What? What's going on?"
Rosie's saying she's turning it in for the night.
Why? What have you said to upset Rosie? You take it back.
Well, I'm not far behind her.
No, me too. This is a Thursday night lock-in that's not going to be too locky-in-y. I'm not on form today. I need a catchphrase, people. Good night, Rosie. Good night, Hobag. Same thing happened in the US when NFL got a review system. Referees got lazy and hope review system catches scenario. I think that's it, isn't it? That is exactly it.
It is. It's trying to kind of cop out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, how many times have you seen a referee go, "Oh, you know, I'll wait and see if it," and then, you know, that whole fucking thing of come and look at it on the screen. It's like, why don't we all get? I'd love him to just have a little armchair there and a pint of bitter, you know, and just like, actually, can I just watch the whole game from here because it's fucking bad. Less running around. Do you know what I mean? Like, just
they then slow it down to such an extent that if like a foot hits a foot like that, but when you slow it down and it makes it look like there's this massive contact when it really isn't.
Well, the Miles Lewis Skelly one was a bit like that, wasn't it?
I mean, they were saying he raked it down his Achilles and this, and it's like, no, it's the mental gymnastics afterwards, trying to justify the result, the mistake, rather than turning around and saying,
he could have killed him. He could have killed him.
And rather than just turn around and saying, "Yeah, sorry about this one. We messed up with this one." No.
Is that's something I want more of. I want more of that in the world. I'd like more of. I was wrong about that. Boy, was I wrong about that, because I don't have a problem doing it. I've never set myself up as an expert. I think that helps. I'd like to know more about tactics. I'd like to, if anybody on in the audience or anybody watching this, because people have been watching these in playback, and I'm so thrilled. If you're not live with us, obviously you don't get to chat, but do leave a comment. I will reply. I will correct your grammar if I need to. But I'd love someone who does know about tactics to come on, because I have so many questions. And I love watching George on the Canon podcast. There's like a few where you watch him. There's a guy, I can't remember his name now, but he explains tactics really well. And I love it. But I just don't, in a game, I'm just watching the game going, kick it. You know, that's it.
It's when you watching it, when you get to watch it live. I was completely amazed because it was been a few years in between games, and the way that we attack is almost like having a corner scenario that we're only leaving 2 at the back, and I was just like, that is nuts, you know. No, it's kind of like absolutely nuts the way that we go about it, and this whole in transition, out of transition, and the way the team contorts. When we turn around and say our starting formation is a 4-2-3-1, seldom are we in that, depending on what phase of play we're in. We completely change. So if we're attacking, it could be a 5-4-2.
I mean, I love all that. But for me, it's also Graham Brooks. Which one's he? Is he the one? Graham? He's not the Graham from AFTV, is he? I quite like Graham on AFTV. But yeah,
there wasn't a Graham on AFTV.
Yeah, who does the tactics? And he's about my age. He's terrible names. I don't know if you've noticed.
George. My name's Bill.
Everyone's Alan and me. You're Alan.
George.
Shut up, Alan. Nurse. Anyone who knows tactics. The only thing is, I think it's always this has always been a pub. Oh, he's the guy, brilliant. I really like him. What is he? Did he used to be a coach? Because he knows his shit. I mean, like, all right, I would not qualify to say, but he definitely seems to know his shit. I really like him. I like this. I think what's great about our little community, our pub here, is that no one claims to be an expert. We're all allowed to have different opinions, just like in a normal pub. You know, like it's funny. Me and my best mate Sean, we've disagreed. Like the biggest disagreement we've ever had. People always laugh at this. This sums. If I had to sum up me and Sean's relationship, it's as simple as we have argued for the last 30-something years over whether I like cricket or not.
Right.
Never seen a match, never been to a match, don't like it, don't watch it on telly. And he goes, yeah, you do like it, Dan, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. And we argued in a pub one Saturday night. There were us and a few others, and we just wouldn't leave it alone. Everyone was like, well, you turn it in. Like, he doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. It doesn't matter. We're still arguing about it 35 years later. So I like when you have different opinions. I like an argument. I think everyone knows that by now. But I don't think any of us ever pretend that we know we're right or get frustrated because, you know, Dan Potts. I don't know, you know. I'm not here to put any. I just, you know, some people you click with and some you don't. I've watched a lot of Dan Potts, and I think he's got a lot of intelligent things to say. He's just a little bit on the miserable end for me. It's a bit, you know, when someone's a bit young and you're like, he's a little bit like, you know, knows what he's talking about too much. And I just think like none of us should pretend we know. It's what I said the other night. Like whether or not you think, let's not pick, I don't want to use a trigger word here for Jose, but let's say you say Scott Parker, shit manager, right? And you go, well, you know what? He's been playing football since he was a little boy. He's played with some of the greatest names in world football. He's represented his country. He's reached the highest level. What, you know, out of the thousands of young boys who try to become professional footballers, he's done what 0.5% of them would ever do. And then he's managed at elite level with elite coaches, millions and millions of pounds spent.
What he's done at Burnley this year. Done
a great job at Burnley. You know, he's so like, and then people go shit, and you go, but compare. Like, if my life depended on, if I was given a football team and they said, right, Dan, you manage it, or Scott Parker, I think I've got enough
Scott
sense
Parker.
to go.
Yeah, of course you would.
And I think we overlook that.
Yeah, I think this is reminiscent of a different conversation. But somebody else was saying about, you know, it doesn't matter if you think somebody is rubbish who's been a professional and gone. They've got a deeper understanding than the average armchair casual.
Yeah, do it for a living, don't they? That's why I like. That's why I like some of the. You do get great pundits. You know, I mean, I don't know if you saw this the other day, but I was saying I don't know if I had too many lead toys as a kid or something. But I never hated Man United.
Right.
I'd never hated Gary Neville. I think he says some stupid shit from time to time, no doubt. But I don't buy with Carragher. He drives me up the wall sometimes. I still don't dislike him, but he does talk some utter shit as well. Everyone does. But with Gary Neville, I always get the feeling he means it and he's thought about it. And there are times where
I don't know. I think sometimes he says it for a bit of both of them say it for a bit of needle.
Questions and they don't know the answer and they say an answer anyway because they feel like they have to. But with Gary Neville, when he was talking about why he didn't think we were going to win the league a couple of years ago, he said it's because you've got young players and I know how hard it is to win your first one. And you're talking about a guy who did it.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who won 3 in a row, won a treble. He's done everything you can do. So you have to take him seriously. Jamie Carragher's a swat. But you...
I mean, both of them, I'm not keen on either of them. It's not because I don't like what they're saying. I feel like sometimes I question why they're saying for, you know. I
think they're doing it for money, Nick.
Then
much more than that.
As for Man United, I try not to hate anything, but I have a healthy dislike. I had a healthy dislike during our competitive time.
Yeah, I didn't really. I liked it. I mean, I think if I transport myself back there, I loved winning it at Old Trafford. I loved that. I loved the Will Tord goal at Old Trafford. Yeah. It was fucking brilliant.
That kit.
That I was in that for that game. I actually think I watched it in Sam's old man's pub, like because his dad used to own the Steam Passage in Islington, and that's where I watched it. I'm pretty sure. Although who can remember? Who could remember so long ago when we were winning leagues? I know I was in Islington.
It'll come again.
And if it doesn't, we'll always have.
You've got to try and enjoy the moment, right?
I just think people, it's like any other endeavor. I think the hardest thing to explain to people is that you win it. It's an amazing feeling. There's no question about it. But that isn't enough. It would never be enough. Look at Man City fans. Do they seem happy? No, of course not. Look at Man United.
I know.
So if it don't make you happy, winning doesn't make. Look at Newcastle fans are the happiest fans I've ever met. I've been up in Newcastle a lot, and I've been up there for matches, and I've hung out with Geordies after they've got beaten, after they've won. The Toon is a great place to go out anyway. Good laughs, man. Just a good place to be. Great fans. I mean, I've kind of gone off them a bit in the recent years because they've all been a little bit hard to take. But that's because they keep beating us, right? But by and large, it's not about they're having a season of their lives because they won the League Cup. We all want to win the league, but
that's why I want Palace to win the FA Cup, because it'll mean so much to them.
I mean, I just want Palace to win it anyway, because here's the reality: Man United will win a trophy this season, Man City will win a trophy this season, Liverpool will win a trophy this season, Chelsea will win a trophy this season. We just didn't, and you kind of go, our good seasons.
You know what? I've got to say, Dan, I'm sorry, but I don't know about United out of those three.
Stop it. Stop
Sorry.
it. Stop
Sorry.
it. Stop
Sorry.
it. Stop it. Stop it. Right? Stop it. Think about what you're saying.
I know.
This is the Adam's Arms, all right?
I don't want to get barred.
Yeah, you don't. Like, you can't be prophesying like the impossible. Like, come on, man. I'm interested to see what happens at Newcastle this summer. Great shout. I don't think they'll spend that much money, but if they hold on to their players, do they have to spend that much? The problem they're going to have is the same problem that Villa had, that they had before. Is it's one thing going for the Premier League with a squad, and it's another thing going for the Premier League and the Champions League, because we got stitched up this summer by not buying replacement players. And we SK, I would love to have you on, but we're closing up in a couple of minutes, so it's not worth it. But do come back. Doing a show on Sunday night as well, so I don't want to bring you on with just a minute to go, but it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. But yeah, I don't think that it's going to be a big this season. I think we're looking at 1.5 billion. I think this will be anything from 1.5 billion to 2 billion spent in the summer transfer window.
Yeah, I think so. I think Liverpool are going to do well. I think City've got money to burn. United need. I mean, if United get Delap for 30 million, that's crazy business.
Yeah, that is crazy business, actually.
Delap for 30 million.
United keep getting mentioned with all these players, and I just don't think they can afford them. I don't know where's that coming from, because United,
because they're in the Champions League for winning the Europa.
But they've got to do something with the players. They've got Rasmus Højlund on money. They've got Joshua Zirkzee on money. They've still got Garnacho on money. They've still got to do something with Rashford. Anthony's not gone. He's on loan.
No.
City are linked to Rangers as well. I mean, City are linked.
They did say there's going to be outgoings. They did say that.
Who, Man United?
Yeah, they did say
we know that because Sancho's only on loan. Is Sancho permanent Chelsea yet? Or maybe I'm talking out my
No,
arse
he's
now.
loan. No, he's
right.
loan,
So they've got players out on loan everywhere. They've got Anthony's out on loan. Jadon Sancho, I think he's out on loan. I can't remember it being.
I think he is as well.
I'm just looking now. It's loan. So he goes back to Man United. Sancho and Anthony, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho is falling out of favour with. So I honestly think that you could sell players, but when you're Man United trying to sell players, are they going to try and sell Joshua Zirkzee? Because he was wanted by teams in Italy again, and I think he's got loads of potential. He's injured, so that might make it difficult to sell him. Rasmus Højlund, I called it. Everybody who had a brain called it. You don't sign a player from Serie A who's only ever scored 9 goals and expect him to be your target man straight away in the Premier League.
Of course.
9 goals in his life, and they spent 80 million on him.
Yeah.
And that's a pressure that you can't take. Now they've got Chido Opie Martin up front. I don't see him hitting the ground running. I don't know. I think it's interesting who they're linked with, because every time I look, we or them are in for someone.
But I think that Delap, 12, 13 goals he's got for Ipswich in a poor Ipswich team.
Mate,
30
I
million
like
is
him.
a bargain. Yeah, I do.
I like him. I like him as much as I liked Evan Ferguson from Brighton.
Okay.
And he was brilliant. I think there's just a problem with... I think 30 million is a really good price for him.
I do.
But, Ipswich need to cash in, and no one's going to pay more than they have to. There's no bidding war around him. Would have liked us to have been in that conversation a bit more.
I would have thought Villa. I know
Villa, I don't know, maybe
because they got rid of Johan or whatever his name is, and then Watkins is like approaching 30 odd. That would
Joe Watkins, I think he's got. Well, I was reading an article earlier that he was really upset they didn't let him go to Arsenal. I don't know. Sorry, I know Amarim's talked about Gyökeres and said that they're just not in the conversation, but I know that he would want him, definitely. There's no, of course he does, and AJ says, hi, Miss Millionaire NP. So now we're heading to 1 hour, 56 minutes and 35 seconds. Nick, I'm going to give you a last chance to say something on what we've talked about tonight. Either how you're feeling about everything.
I think I'm in a comfortable place, because if we finish second, Champions League semi-final, with the injuries we've had this year, it's disappointing not to get a trophy and all the rest of it, blah, 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 blah. But from where we've been and to where we are, I can still see the progression forward. And I think with one good summer, addressing the issues that we need, I think we've become a very, very big problem, because you've got to think about the results we've achieved this year. Madrid, home and away, City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, all of these cauldrons that we go in, and we're still coming out unscathed with the lineup that we've had. You add some good additions to that, we're a big problem. We are a real big problem. And just thinking about what we were saying about the lineup, how strong our bench becomes. You're going to be strong. We're going to be leaving decent names out of the matchday squad as it currently stands. We become a very, very different prospect, because we're talking about 4-2-3-1s, but we can set ourselves up in like 2 or 3 different ways. Arteta might be able to shift the predictability tag. We might actually be a threat down both flanks. And we might be a threat down both flanks. I'm very optimistic for the future. I keep saying it.
So might be a threat down both flanks. I think we've established that we're getting Gyökeres, because I've given it the Dan. Here we go.
Here we go. That's your catchphrase.
Here we go. Here we go. No, I think I'll give it some thought. So, and I think we're both in a very similar frame of mind about Nico Williams. I'm happy to be wrong about him, but it's not my first choice. So, what's a good transfer window for you then? And you've got less than a minute, because
sure. Centre forward, left wing are the 2 that we need to get right to make us a balanced front 3. If we've got the CDM in Zubimendi, that's great. And then preferably for me, a left back.
Are you ready? All right.
For you, what do you say?
Okay, we've already had all the left backs. There aren't any left. Keep Tierney then. Let's not let Tierney go.
I know.
I'm going to give the last word on this, because I love this. I expect us to go for it in 25-26. A disappointment must be used to motivate 100%.
That's it.
Lookman and Gyökeres as attackers. That's how I'd feel. Nick, thanks for coming on, mate, and thank you for
having me. Sorry, I've been a bit flat tonight because I'm so tired.
You've been wonderful.
It's been good to have a chat.
Guest. You're always a wonderful guest. It's nice seeing you in a slightly different background, and I think Rosie said it must have taken you ages to paint that picture before. I'm going to wish you all, thank you so much for being here. All the best. Be lucky and lots of love.